Seasonal affective disorder is a mood disorder, and the primary symptom is depression. And the incidence of depression does rise during the winter months. So studies suggest that the decreased levels of vitamin D3 may even impact the level of serotonin in the brain. And remember, that's the hormone that's one of the main regulators of mood. Dopamine is the main regulator of behavior, but serotonin is the main regulator of mood. By taking a vitamin D3 supplement or increasing your exposure to the sun, you could see a significant boost in your mood. It can even aid in weight loss and weight management. There is another article that I will post below where the research revealed that people who were deficient in vitamin D3 had a greater risk of becoming obese and developing complications related to obesity. So not only a greater risk of developing obesity, but a higher incidence of complications once they were obese. It can lower the risk of rheumatoid arthritis. I posted a 7th study below that found that people who suffer from rheumatoid arthritis, a chronic inflammatory disease of the joints, often have very low levels of vitamin D. Rheumatoid arthritis is classified as an autoimmune disease, and the immune system reacts to the lining of the joints as if these proteins were foreign substances. And this leads to inflammation in the joint, which causes the stiffness and the pain and the reduced mobility. So since one of the main vitamin D benefits is to help maintain the immune system and ensure that it's properly functioned, it makes sense that a deficiency in this vitamin could lead to the development of rheumatoid arthritis, or at least accelerate the time frame for the onset of rheumatoid. So by raising your vitamin D3 levels, there's a chance you could reduce the severity and onset of this disease and potentially even other autoimmune diseases. It lowers the risk of type 2 diabetes. This has been well researched, and there is a study below that confirms that there is a link between D3 deficiency and the body's resistance to insulin, which is type 2 diabetes. By overcoming insulin resistance, you could potentially prevent the development or the further exacerbation of type 2 diabetes. You see, the cells in the pancreas that are responsible for secreting insulin, the beta cells and the islets, as a result of not getting enough sunlight, reduce the secretion of insulin from the pancreas, which creates insulin resistance and affects how the body responds to glucose. So we know that vitamin D can help lower blood pressure. There have been several long-term studies that have proven that there's an association between low vitamin D3 levels and hypertension. And until recently, it wasn't known if being deficient in vitamin D actually led to hypertension, but a large genetic study that involved more than 150,000 people revealed that low levels of vitamin D, in fact, cause hypertension. In this study, in particular, those who had the highest levels of vitamin D had lower blood pressure. And it was demonstrated that by increasing vitamin D 10%, it led to a concomitant decrease in blood pressure of 10%. So if you have high blood pressure or you want to avoid developing it, an increase in your vitamin D level might help. It might reduce even the risk of heart disease. Now, some of the studies are non-causal, meaning they couldn't link the low D3 directly to heart disease, but there's an increasing number of studies that have indicated that deficiency in vitamin D is a risk factor for developing high blood pressure, heart disease, congestive heart failure, peripheral arterial disease, which is a condition of the peripheral arteries of the system, and even increases the incidence of stroke and heart attack. So we know that improving vitamin D levels can help reduce the risk of developing heart disease and the symptoms that are associated with it.